Hi and welcome all. I'm Pushkar Shashi from Grow Junction, and today we have with us Shreya Sanyal, who is currently working as assistant manager at KPMG. And Shreya has also worked with big companies like PwC India, JP Morgan, and also many other companies. So hi Shreya, how are you?
Hi Pushkar, I'm good. How are you?
I am also doing great. Everything fine at your end?
Yes. Hope your family is safe and sound.
I was also going to ask the same question.
Right. Right.
In this era, I'm just trying to be safe and my family too. So we are
Right,
with all
absolutely.
the precautions which we require. So,
Correct.
Shreya, as I know a lot about you, like you have worked with big companies and done internship also in many good companies. But I would like our audience and viewers to know you. So, can you give an introduction about yourself?
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Shreya Sanyal, as Pushkar pointed out, and I'll give you a brief background about my education, and then I'll quickly hop on to my career stance. So, I started, my journey or my graduation in the field of electronics and telecommunication from Bhilai Institute of Technology, and then I just after completion I moved on to complete my MBA in Finance and Strategy from TFI Management Institute. During the stint in TFI Management Institute, I had an opportunity to work with JP Morgan Chase as an intern for 2 months. And then I grabbed a PPO in JP Morgan Chase and I started my career there. So I worked in and around 2 years with JP Morgan Chase as a global analyst, in their wealth and asset management division. Just to give a brief of what we used to do is we used to work on various kind of projects, mostly in and around optimization and efficiency projects, in and around that. And then I hopped on to Kotak Mahindra Bank as a product manager in their business banking asset division, mostly working as a product manager in their working capital space. Then I have a bit of a experience. Then basically my experience into management consulting started with PwC India. I started working with them in their financial services and strategy division. And finally then landing up at KPMG as an assistant manager again in their in the finance transformation and services team, looking around projects which are mostly transformation projects, optimization projects, etc. So yeah, that's a brief about the journey of around 5 years of experience that I hold currently into 3 to 4 types of roles. But yeah, finally I've been into management consulting for 3 years now, which is a good space to be. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. You have worked with big companies. You have worked with Kotak Mahindra as a product manager, and you got a PPO offer from JP Morgan. That's very great. That's nice. And talking about the your career roles. So, what you have worked with Kotak Mahindra, like as you were a product manager. So, what were your roles and responsibilities? Can you share with us?
Right. Correct. Absolutely. So, as a product manager, your roles and responsibilities are not very aligned. So, you work in various parts, is what I would say. So, as a product manager, you will be involved in their marketing strategies. You will be involved in their probably customer acquisition strategies, their revenue enhancement strategies. So in Kotak Mahindra Bank specifically, what I was looking around is one of their areas where they were trying to implement a customer relationship management interaction tool, basically. For doing that, the roles and responsibilities that you hold is basically understanding what the market is doing currently, understanding what are the tools and technologies that are present in the market currently, and then analyzing that what fits the bill for your organization, and then going forward and implementing it with the vendor or the company that you have identified. So these are the three of what happens when you are a product manager. So it's basically, if I have to give a broad picture, it's understanding the market, then fitting it into what you are doing currently or your team or the company, and then finally implementing it. So these are the three basic steps that you as a product manager would face, probably in different areas. I'm just talking about one of the implementation projects that I took with them. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's really nice. At least you got the learning of what the product manager is and how the product manager work is in the bank. That's really
right.
Great. And I also came to know about you that you have internship with All India Radio. So what you are doing in that All India Radio?
So that's a very old internship which happened during when I was doing BTech. And it was in and around mostly, so as I mentioned that I am into electronics and communications. So that was a 2-month internship with them where it was in and around, how the technology with internally works. I mean, how are they communicating, etc., and what are the channels, or how do they figure out the audience, etc., and then communicate. So it was in and around the communication strategy of All India Radio, more not in and around an MBA. Basically, it was more around electronics and telecommunications. So yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I just came to know about your All India Radio, so I thought that you were also the sometime radio jockey saying hello.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. And I would also like our audience and viewers to know that she's an alumna of TAPI Manipal Institute, one of the best institute. And how did you crack TAPI? Like, what exam did you give for TAPI?
So for that, both you can appear for CAT and XAT as well. So they accept both of those scorecards. And to crack TAPME, it's you need a percentage or a percentile in CAT or XAT to be more than 90 is what I had. But you can, for a safe bet, you can say more than 87 percentile is where you are at a safe position to get in. That was 5 years ago. Now I'm not very aware of the recent percentiles, but 5 years ago that was a safe percentile to be in, to get into TAPME.
Okay, that's nice. So as you also might be knowing that from 2020 there was a COVID era beginning. So what challenges you faced in your professional life? Like anything that you were not comfortable with, you had to do with?
Right. So when COVID hit, I just joined PwC basically. So with the COVID, I just joined, and I was actually transitioning from a product manager role in a bank to a management consulting role in a consulting firm, which was completely two separate things and two separate, outlooks of doing things, where a product manager role was not completely client-facing role. This one was a client-facing role where traveling was involved, where a lot of interaction with clients on a face-to-face basis was involved before COVID. When I joined, everything came to a standstill, and then everything was online. So that is an area where there were challenges, because the team was used to interacting with the clients face-to-face, making them understand a problem and the recommendations, etc. But came online, it was a difficult phase because everybody was adapting. So, and it was new for me as well. So that is where a slight bit of a standstill came. But being in consulting, the positive aspect of it is you can do a lot of or reporting or analysis at the back end at your home. You don't really need client at that particular phase. So for those areas, it was very easy for us to adapt to it very quickly. So all the designing or all the analysis happened very smoothly as it used to. And the only challenge was with the clients, which again got resolved with time, with them adapting and with us adapting to it. And now everything is online. So
Yes.
I don't think we have been to office for the past 2 years properly now. So it's all work from home now.
Yeah, that's true. So, like everything is now, I'd seen getting back to normal. I think offices are also opening, like many big firms, Wipro, TCS, they are calling back their employees. So, is your company also calling back your employees, or they are telling from work from home only?
No, so now they have actually adopted a hybrid model. So it won't be going to office every day. It will be once or twice, per week, depending on the requirements. So either it has to be at your client location that you go once a week, or you go to office once or twice a week. That completely depends on the project that you're working on. So yeah, so that's now a new model that's come up. I think a lot of organizations would be adapting this model going forward, specifically in consulting, because
Yes.
because this way for us to work.
So, as you have worked with management consulting in the PwC India, okay. So, what do you think, like for going in this field, what attitude a person should have while going for this field?
Right. So for management consulting, there are 2-3 things I think which are important. First, your problem solving ability has to be on point. So what they look at is your approach to solve a problem. I mean, how clear are you in identifying a particular problem statement, its objective, the challenges that a client are facing, or how clear are you in recommending a solution. That is first. Secondly, also from a prioritization standpoint, because as consultants, it's very important that we add value to the organization or the client we're working for. So we cannot take up anything and everything and implement it. It's very important for us to find that value add that we can do, and prioritize the quick wins that can be at a specific stance. If it's a short-term project, we need to understand that within 3 months these are the areas, or these are the activities or tasks that I can implement for the client for them to see results. So that prioritization is very important. Then third, I think your industry knowledge. I wouldn't say that you need to know everything around the industry, but if, say, for example, I am into financial services, I should be aware of how probably the balance sheet works, or how the income statement works, or what are the new trends in banking, etc. So that's the third one. And then fourth, probably, which is now a very important thing, is to have an understanding in and around low code tools. So when I say low code tools, it can be Power BI, or it can be Visio, etc., which helps you, to design processes or to design dashboards so that you can present the data in a nice way. So those are the low code tools. It's very easy to use. So there are a lot of learning, tutorials that are there in online courses that you can opt for, and these are very easy to learn tools. So once you take the courses, you're very comfortable with them. So these low code tools are very helpful, and they would look through that if you're aware and how much do you know about these. So yeah, so I think these 4 things are important if you want to get into this industry.
All right. So, like, you give full details of while you're going into management consulting, what you should be in mind, and how you should be ready for that role, and what you will be doing. That's really great, informative about you saying about that. And you have also done volunteer experience in some NGOs, right? Red
Right,
Cross,
yes.
and there were 2 NGOs. So
Lend a hand India.
Yeah. So what did you did in that?
So for Lend a Hand India, it is basically a platform which educates children. So what we used to do under this was go to different schools, primary schools, and help them understand very basic, probably English, or very basic, email writing, or grammar, etc. So this kind of things, or very very easy math problems, etc. So it was on a voluntary basis, which was again had a tie. When I was in JP Morgan, I used to do this because JP Morgan had a tie up with them, so it was on a weekly basis. We used to go on weekends, etc., to help them in whatever area. So if they suggest some areas that this is the area that we lack in, so we, 2 or 3 colleagues of us, used to go and then help them around those areas. So yeah, that's majorly in and around primary school education. And then Red Cross, it was a different thing. It was majorly an exercise that they were doing. Again, this was a tie-up when I was in JP Morgan, and they were trying to identify areas, which were high risk areas in terms of natural calamities, etc. And we actually helped them with their instructions to map those areas, because doing it across the world, they need volunteers. So that is how we help them, to map areas which were high prone areas to calamities, etc. So yeah.
All right, that's really nice. At least you got the experience of working in NGOs also, and how do they work and how do they help to the society. That's really nice. Sharing about you, that what are learnings you got. So I also came to know that you have done internship in ISRO. So what have you done in that ISRO?
So again, that internship was also during my BTech stance, and it was again a 2 month internship, which was around Space Application Center. So what they were trying to do at that point of time was, if I have to say in a very layman language, so they were trying to, with their satellites, trying to map the heights of certain regions. And it required certain, VBA macro and the tools that we used to use at that time in engineering. Some expertise in those tools as a backend coding. So that is where I came handy and helped them design that a tool, or you would say help them with the language, basically, so that it helps them or assists them in order to map those heights or terrain, or basically anomalies in the terrain, etc. So at a very layman language, that was a 2 month quick experience, but it was a good one, basically, to be in and around those people and understand what they do.
So you have met the ISRO chairman also.
Not really. Not really, yeah.
Okay, that's nice. But you have got to work in ISRO. That's a really proud moment for you, also working in the ISRO and knowing how the satellites are launched. That's really nice.
Right. So basically, I was doing, so they have a branch where at my hometown, like a branch where they work into all of these spaces where there's a lot of middle and back end things that go on. So that is where I interned, for 2 months, which is called as the Space Application Center, for them. So yeah.
That's really nice. So as you were also, Shreya, once time MBA student, so how would you tell to other MBA students that how could they work on their CV? Like everyone is doing MBA, but how can they stand out from the corporate interviews, So how can you suggest to them?
Yeah, so a CVC, a few things would be very similar to what others are doing. Where you can stand out is basically in today's time is your certifications, your internships, specifically if you're an MBA aspirant or you are doing an MBA. These are the 2 areas that should really be a focus, because it's something that even organizations are pushing us to focus on. So there are various kind of certifications. Need not be a very lengthy or very hectic certification always, but very small certifications, which adds on to your CV. So, for example, I currently did a certification in Celonis, which is one of the tools that is used in now, this certification is like a 30-hour course that you need to go through and then apply for an examination or sit for an examination, which is around 6 hours of examination broken down into 3 parts. So, like these certifications, which are quick to understand and learn, and then you apply for it and get certified. So you can choose your areas basis your interest or abilities, etc. But I would suggest that these kind of certifications really help. That is one. And then secondly, internships for MBA students, we know that they have to do a 2-month internship. But if you can do internships around the side as well, there are consulting firms, EY, KPMG, who also give live projects. So if you can grab one of those, I'm pretty sure even at my time at TAPME, there were live projects that used to happen. And I think still MBA colleges would have live projects going on. So if you can grab one of those, that's also very good learning. It's like an unpaid internship itself. So all of these things, your practical experiences, will help you for sure in your CV. It has helped me for sure. And this is something that as an MBA student, you should look forward to as well. If you can be a part of some of the forums or the clubs, etc., that they have internally, that also gives good exposure, because at my time, I was a part of two things. One was the finance club, which used to host a few events. So you get to interact a lot with the industry leaders because they come for the events, etc. And while you're hosting, you get to talk to them, you get to network. I still am in touch with a few of them, whom I met at that time. That is one. And then I was a part of, so TAPME holds something called as a SMIC, which is Student Management Investment Fund, which is a good course to learn where you invest in the real market and then present a report, etc. To the faculty or whoever is judging that particular course. So stuff like this really helps you to grab that practical knowledge, because otherwise you're just in books and you don't really understand what is really happening in the corporate world. So yeah, things like this would be very helpful and would be a good thing to talk when you appear for an interview. So people can grab those points and you can discuss further, which is good. Yeah.
So you also might be remembering when I asked this question about the CV. So you went into that zone, that how I used to work for my CV, how I used to work hard to stand from the others and differentiate from myself from the others.
Correct, absolutely.
Remembering your own.
So grab whatever you can, basically.
So Shreya, as our audience is also, we have MBA aspirants also. So what message you would like to say to them? How would they crack CAT and go to colleges, big colleges?
Right. I mean, for cracking CAT, I think it's practice. I mean, it's practice. A lot of again, for cracking CAT, there is no other mantra I can give, basically. What I did was practice. So your quant, your verbal, it needs to be strong. And then giving a lot of mocks, because when I was, I appeared for a few mocks. I wouldn't say a lot, but then at that point of time, when you go in the examination, you start feeling the pressure. So it's good to appear in as many mocks as you can for the current, syllabus or the pattern that they have, because then it reduces the pressure at that point of time when you actually appear for the exam. So I made that mistake of not appearing in a lot of mock exams, which then I could, I felt that pressure during the exam of completing it within the time limit and solving the problems correctly, etc. So that is something I would really suggest, that appear in as much as mocks as you can. That really helps to build down that pressure from your head. So yeah, and practice.
Only practice is the way to crack the cat. That's it. Because only practice makes a man perfect. So by practice only you can crack cat, and that's true. So coming to the last part of the session, Shreya, I would like to thank you for giving your precious time, for giving this podcast session and giving information about your journey, what companies you have done, and really thankful to our audience also listening this much, and knowing about the MBA, how to stand out from the CV. That's really nice. Thank you, Shreya. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pushkar. Thank you so much for having me.